class, how are you? It's Hawa. I hope all is well with everyone. For my product, I chose to answer the question, or at least try to answer the question, does social media increase or decrease one's self-esteem? And I titled the PowerPoint, which I am hoping I can learn to include in this video. I titled it Open Mic, and my idea behind that is that with social media being such a powerful tool, the world has an open mic that is accessible to any and everyone, and we're able to express ourselves in ways that were never possible just by posting a video or a status or a picture. You know, the audience receive these messages that we were hoping that would create some kind of reaction in them, and we want feedback. So this open mic is kind of our outlet to get in there, to expressing ourselves. Some of the social networks that have made this possible are, of course, Facebook, MySpace, we have Flickr, Instagram, we have Twitter, and of course YouTube. YouTube has been a great tool that people have been able to use to connect with each other, express their talents, express any and everything that possibly a human being can, want to, extend to other people. I'm not sure if everybody remembers, but Justin Bieber was actually discovered on YouTube. He didn't have to wait in line to be, to audition at American Idol. He was able to actually put his talent for the world to see, and someone liked it, and, now he's a multimillionaire. So we all have dreams that we hope to, someday accomplish, and this is the way for us to do it. Some of the ways that social networks can increase one's self-esteem is that we're able to separate ourselves from the real world, and when we enter the cyber world, the virtual world, it gives us this endless opportunity to be who we really desire to be, who we really want to be, where there's no stress, there's no judging, we're just we're in control of what's going on. And so with the world being our audience, we have the power and the freedom to express our feelings, to express ourselves, and to really put out there what we want to be perceived of us. So the idea of releasing the beast is really, powerful in this aspect. It's also where people are discovered, singers, people find love online, everything just happens that was never possible before. It's also where we were able to shape and mold and really put forward our best face, and this meaning that a lot of pictures go through the cuts and pasting and enhancing before it's put on our Facebook profile or a Twitter profile, because we want the best face to be put forward for us. But with that being said, there are some ways that social media can have a toll on a person. It can really decrease one's self-esteem, and that number one being when you've become the victim of cyberbullying, it can really cause a person to shut down and just not want to interact with anyone anymore. Not only is the real world stressful and hard enough, but now here you are trying to separate yourself from that, and you're facing the same situation in the cyber world. And a lot of us have heard suicides as a result of cyberbullying and the negative feedbacks that you get that you don't normally wouldn't expect to get. People can be really harsh, and you want to come into a world where you're able to be yourself without being judged, and it still happens, and that can again really affect a person's self-esteem. And just the obsession of wanting to always be connected. People sleep with their phones. It's constantly on them because they want to constantly be connected with what's going on, what's new, what's the latest, and that can also really take away from a person being able to enjoy their lives. And I'm not sure if anyone's familiar with the show Catfish, but it's where people meet online and they're for years talk and think they know who they're talking to, and finally come to meet each other face to face and realize that the person that I fell in love with online is not who it really is standing in front of me, and that can cause a lot of hurt and deception, and just like the ability to not trust anyone anymore can also come into play. And so it's really important that we're able to really, control what's going on around us, because social media is a wild beast that needs to be tamed, and it's up to us to think before we post, to think about what we're posting out there. What's the purpose of it? What's the purpose behind who's reading it and how they're receiving it? What are we doing to benefit them in that aspect? So it's really important, again, to think before you post, because whatever you put out there will be received in a way that perhaps you don't want to be perceived, and it can take a toll on the person. So I hope you enjoyed watching the video. And basically, there's two sides to every story. You can either increase or decrease your self-esteem based on the activity that you're partaking in and how you're receiving the information. Thank you, and I hope to include my PowerPoint in some way.